Hey everyone, welcome to the week 4 overview, and hope you're all well. Smoky enough for you? My gosh. Anyways, hope you're all holding up, and I hope you're enjoying what you're doing at home and working with clay. All right, let's get right into it. This week, we are going to make something that adds a little bit of complexity to what we started with last week. You guys did an amazing job with your slab containers, your low flat slab serving trays, and the examples I'm saying are really great. So this week is going to be a little bit of an added complexity. We're going to be adding a lid. We're going to make a slab container in which we add a lid to the slab container. So here's what you're going to do this week, and you can go online to Canvas and go straight down, but this is just an explanation of what you're going to see there. And that is, first you're going to view the lecture on lidded slab containers. So I've got a really detailed thing that I narrate that talks about what are the slabs and what are the parameters of the assignment. And also what's important is, like, what are you going to do for a lid, right? You don't want to just put a slab on top of a box and then it just slides right off, right? So you're going to need to figure out how to make a lid seat that holds the lid in place. That's your problem to solve this week. And so you also want to think about making something that you like, making something you want to have around. And maybe you want to add sculptural elements to it, to the top or whatever. There's a bunch of examples. You're also going to find a bunch of examples for yourself to turn in and to share. And you're also going to find and share a video that does a specific technique of making a lid for a slab container. There's a zillion of them out there, and they're all really helpful. And let's just make sure that we're always finding a different one. Don't do repeats, so that we're all learning from each other. It's really fast. I don't know whether you've done this before, but it's really quick and easy to go to a video and kind of zip through it and go, oh, this is really good. I want to watch this thing slowly. You know, you can kind of see, oh, there's the technique. Okay, I got that. I already seen that. I've never seen that. And so you stop there and you watch through. You can also pause and look in the background. The videos are amazing. And like I was saying before, that I will be showing you things and continuing to show you, Mark's bag of tricks. But to see Carl's bag of tricks and then all these other people out there, it just adds to the complexity and to the richness of the things you're going to make. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to first, this week, get an idea of what you're going to make by looking at the lid slab lecture that Mark did. Then you're going to go and you're going to complete Part A. The R&D is broken into Part A and Part B this week. So Part A this week is to find examples of lidded jars that you like. There's only a few. And then you're going to do a drawing, kind of a prototype of something you might want to make. And then you're going to find how-to videos to share that you think has a lid type that you might want to use for what you've just kind of designed. All right, that's Part A of the R&D, research and development. Next, you're going to complete and post an original lidded slab jar. In other words, this is something you decided, you designed, and you're going to make it. And so there's never going to be one exactly like that out there. So the parameters are, though, and you'll see this over and over, you're going to keep it to be no more than 6 inches in one direction. So, and people have already said, so why? Why just 6 inches? This first one, we're keeping it simple. And we're keeping it small so you can think through the design problems and make the lid fit. Plus, 6 inches is about the width where a slab is not going to slump in the firing. So if you decide that you're just going to put a slab on and then create a seat for it, the slab's not going to slump if it's 6 inches or less. 6 inches or wider, all bets are off. So there's other techniques. If you want something wider, like you say, I love this, I want to make more. All right, make as many as you want. I'll fire them for you. I want to make a casserole. Well, if you're going to make a big casserole, you can't have a flat slab lid on a 12-inch casserole or 15-inch long casserole. It has to have some kind of a dome architectural technique going so that it does not slump. So that's another problem, another time, especially if you want to make something extra. For now, You're keeping it small, 6 inches, and you're going to make a lidded container with a lid that fits, no wider than 6 inches. All right, so you're going to complete that, document it, turn it in. You're going to also, and remember to do this, I think it's really helpful, as you're writing, as you turn it in, put everything on one document. And if you put the image of your work and then an explanation of your work and all that stuff, any captions or anything like that that you're doing in an assignment, put it all in one document and turn it in. And that way we all see it at once. We don't have to go open a bunch of different, submissions and, anyways, it makes it much easier. Usually if you embed it too, we can actually see it when we open it up. You've already noticed how if there's 5 more steps to something, you go, I just wanted, you just go look at the other ones first and maybe you get back to that one. But if it's hard to see, you don't tend to look at it. So we want to benefit from all of our efforts. So make it easy for all of us to see your stuff. Okay? All right. So you've done that. You've completed the project and you put it in. Well, there's an R&D 2, and that is R&D 2 is talking about the art elements, which is the concept of formalism, or how do you sit and think about art? What exactly is it? What am I looking at? So formalism is a series of lectures I'm going to give that have to do with directly with what you're going to be making here, but also thinking about what is it in art that makes it, you look at some stuff and you just go, okay. And then you look at something else and you just go, oh, wow. It just stops you, like, whatever it is. It's an object, it's a sculpture, it's a pot. It's a movie, it's a song. But whatever it is, you just go, whoa, well done. You executed that really well. I don't know how you did it, but I know it affects me. You did a good job. That's what aesthetics is about. Aesthetics is about understanding what caused you to have that reaction, right? And there's a saying in, the art world of, people talk. Usually it's, kind of like a little condescending, like, oh, it's uppercase art, capital A, or it's lowercase art, like, oh, it's crafty. It's just a bunch of, stuff. I think there's a more significant way to talk about uppercase or lowercase art. I think art with a capital A that you're going to say, wow, is art that profoundly moves most people. Most people would look and say, wow, that was a really profound movie, or let's say, that was really significantly well done, good choreography, well acted, crazy good writing, good dialogue, all that stuff. You just go, wow, thumbs up, done well, and profound message, all that stuff. Could be the same thing with a sculpture. Could be the same thing with a pot. Could be the same thing with a song that you hear, with lyrics, with poems, with a novel. If you've read bad writing, there's good writing and there's writing that's maybe not bad. And when you read something that's really written well, you could have the same subject and people are covering the same subject, and one is like, okay. Then another one's, you read it and you just go, you're riveted to every word because they are really put there for a reason and you are getting it. That's what aesthetics is. And when they talk about capital A art as opposed to lowercase art, all they're doing is saying, even though it is condescending, they're saying, when they're talking about capital A art, they're not talking about art that tends to really have that reaction with people across the board. And not only right now, but there's even art that still, even though we're not living the same lives and in the same situations and in the same, world that those people were living in when they made the art, their art still has that effect on us. Like Shakespeare, right? Like a lot of Greek sculptures, like, you name it, right? There's art that does that. And that's why they tend to call it capital A, because the aesthetics involved and the message still communicates across cultures, across time. Okay, there's my little speech on that. So we're going to be studying aesthetics, and what we're going to be studying is how do you build something like that works? And in order to build anything, you go, well, let's figure out what the parts are. What are all the parts, and how do you put them together to make something? So this section of your R&D, that was a long way to get to section part B of your R&D, but here's what it is. Part B of your R&D is that I have a little pyramid that to me is like what makes art. And it's all about that top part that says, you know, you walk down the street and you're looking at something and you go, whoa, that's really good. Figuring that out. And this diagram is about what are all the parts that lead to that top where somebody looks and says, wow, what a picture. Wow, what a song. Wow, what a movie. What a dance choreography. What a good job. All right. So I have a lecture there. As if I haven't given you a lecture now. I have a lecture there, and it's on the first steps, which are, it gives an overview, but it's on the first part, which are the art elements. And you're going to, first of all, read the videos, listen to the videos so you have an understanding of of what I'm asking and what you're going to be looking for. And then you're going to simply go out and find examples. And these are examples of the art elements. Line, value, color, shape, form, texture, and space. So you're going to find examples of each of those, and then you're going to share them. And do me a favor, and after you've seen it and looked at it, realize that we're going to be sharing this with each other. So if you find really commonplace examples that you just like went online and picked the first thing you saw, you're not really doing us any favors, and we've already seen those. Find examples that we haven't seen, or that are at least interesting, right? That way our collective sharing, that's a big part of this online thing, is that we're sharing stuff. And it's a great part of it, that we get to see what each other found. Try to present things that are a little counter to, you had to really look a little bit. Or maybe you had to take your own pictures or something, right? So you're going to find 2 examples of these art elements that are ceramics, and you're going to find 2 examples of each element that are not ceramic. So it could be just about anything. All right. Last, in this week's is you're going to view the last lecture of this week. I did a little lecturing this week. It's on 2 people that I think are really important to the concept of wabi and sabi. Wabi-sabi, which has been this theme, and this is the last week of this theme, and we're going to move on. So in conclusion, I'm talking about 2 artists, one Sweta Yanagi and the other Peter Vokos, and these guys had a lot to do with each other as far as both influencing each other and both vibing on the same kind of inspiration, because they both used as sort of inspiration the concept and the aesthetic of wabi-sabi. But you decide what you think. You're going to see the work, and you're going to see how they came to be connected. And they were not bosom buddies. They didn't speak the same language. They didn't hang out or anything, but they knew of each other. And they had really a 3-day encounter where they were together. But other than that, it was just knowing who each other were and knowing what was up with each other and seeing each other's work. But it's all about the common theme, the overriding theme of both of their works of wabi-sabi. Dramatically different people, dramatically different work. You tell me what you think. You tell me what you think in 50 words or less. So almost everything I ask you to write is 50 words or less. In other words, I want you to be really succinct. I think you can say a lot in 50 words. You can go through and write it in 100 and pare it down and get rid of words. Make it interesting and brief, because then we'll all read it. If it's a page or 2 pages, who's going to read that? When you're looking at a bunch of your fellow students' work. You want something brief and gets to the point and says, here's what I saw. And here's why I think that, So anyways, that's the week in a nutshell. That wasn't a nutshell. That was a long, rambling discourse, but it should be a fun week. You're going to come away with a neat piece of art, a lidded container, and other than that, get to it and have fun. All right. Bye-bye.